What's going on, it's your boy JT, and welcome back to another episode of South Stand Signings. This series, of course, we go through everything happening in and around the world of Leeds United. And as you can tell by my voice, I'm still not perfect, but I am feeling a little bit better now, a little bit more in the groove of things, and I am going to be ready to fire on all cylinders this Sunday at the Leeds Creators Cup. Don't you worry. What a day it is going to be. Absolutely phenomenal. But speaking of people who are raring on all cylinders, ready to go, or firing on all cylinders, Leeds United are doing just that right now. What a huge day of business we have to talk about. And the first story we have to talk about is this one that happened yesterday. Mr. Sean Longstaff, and it is a confirmed deal to Leeds United. Well, as good as confirmed until we see him in that Leeds United shirt. Fabrizio Romano tweeted this morning, Newcastle have authorised Sean Longstaff to undergo a medical at Leeds United. An agreement has been sealed. Leeds United are set to pay a fee in excess of 12 million for Sean Longstaff, who has said yes to the project in June. Here we go. Now, a lot of you were getting on to me in the comment sections yesterday. What you don't understand is when I make these videos, alright, it takes about an hour to process everything from the point of me recording everything to getting it up. I've got to edit it. I've got to render the edit, which takes about 10-15 minutes. Then I've got to put that through to YouTube. Then I've got to create a thumbnail. Then I've got to do the tags, the video description. Then it's got to go through monetization check. The whole process takes about an hour and a half after I've actually made the video before you guys see this on your screens. And during that time, right when the video was uploaded, that's when the information came out that the Sean Longstaff deal was agreed. So it wasn't just me being stupid and not seeing it. It was the fact that it literally happened after the video was already in the process of making its way over to your screens. But the deal is done. Sean Longstaff is confirmed to be a Leeds United player. His medical is penned in. But why am I so excited about this deal? Number one, there was talks yesterday about a potential £20 million fee, which I thought was ludicrous. The fee that is being set is £12 million with £3 million worth of add-ons. Apparently, our fourth offer that was rejected was £12 million plus £2 million add-on, and they wanted an extra £1 million add-on, which isn't too bad for me. If we stay in the league, I'll happily pay an extra £1 million or whatever it is that we have to pay the extra £3 million for. That for me is a good deal at £15 million. And the reason it's a good deal is because of this. That's right, this morning we weren't just stopping at Sean Longstaff. Some more huge news hit the fan, coming by way of Florian Pettenberg this time. Exclusive report. Leeds United have agreed personal terms with Anton Stach. Negotiations with TSG Hoffenheim have already started, but there is no agreement with the club just yet. Hoffenheim are currently demanding around 20 million euros plus add-ons. The 26-year-old central midfielder is currently under contract until 2027, and Hoffenheim has received several inquiries for Stach, not just from Leeds, but Leeds have agreed personal terms with the player, or rather, contact has been agreed, and personal terms have now been agreed between Leeds United and Anton Stach. Two huge deals. Now, if we do end up paying 20 million euros plus add-ons, it will come to around 20 million pounds total, 15 million pounds total for Sean Longstaff. So 35 million pounds for two top draw midfielders. When you look at the fact that Habib Diarra was going to cost around 30 million pounds by himself, that for me is a phenomenal bit of business from Leeds United. And we were all getting antsy, especially me earlier on in the transfer window, saying, why are we not getting moves done? Well, this has shut me right up. Two huge midfield deals done. Signed, sealed, delivered. Well, not quite signed, sealed, and delivered for Anton Stach, but I do believe that this one is definitely going to happen. You can mark my words on that one. Barring a late shock twist, this deal is going to happen. You can mark my words. Now, the only fear that could make you think this isn't going to happen is that during Hoffenheim's preseason friendly tour, they have actually put him on the bench. So whether he features in that game, that is yet to be seen. He could play on the bench, but as we've seen with Leeds, we had Jorginho Rutter play a preseason match last year off the bench, and 2 days later, he was a Brighton player. So that doesn't mean that he's off the table for Leeds United. I still believe this deal is going to get done, and with 35 million pounds for both of them, that will allow us another 40 million odd to splash on a striker, a goalkeeper, and hopefully a number 10. Maybe we could splash an extra 50 million on that one. So I really hope we can get those three other positions done, and with these two in the midfield, with Tanaka already capable of playing in the midfield, with the versatility of Ethan Ampadu, I just feel very, very positive. Now, could this mean a formation change? As we said before, if we did sign both of them, it does look like we are going to sign both of them. Could that be a formation change in the bookie for Leeds United? That we will have to wait and see, whether we will go 4-3-3 or we will just keep them as rotational options. Maybe we could push Tanaka further up the field in a 4-3-3. That is yet to be seen for Leeds United, and maybe that's why we haven't seen too many stories about Leeds going for an out-and-out number 10, because if we did go 4-3-3 and we had these three as our starting three midfielders, well, you don't really have a number 10, depending on which kind of 4-3-3 you operate. Maybe you do 2 DMs and a cam, maybe you do 1 DM and 2 central midfielders, a number 8 and a number 6. It could be one of those situations, which is why we might not be going for that out-and-out Pablo Hernandez replacement, and maybe we're keeping Brendan Aronson lurking around for the potential option of a formation change when you do want a number 10 in that position. So for me, very, very, very positive signs. Please let me know what you guys are feeling right now. Are you feeling optimistic? Are you feeling the rhythm? Are you feeling the rhyme? Do you want to get on up like it's Bob Slay time? Now, having a look at the 2 midfielders we've signed, I mean, just look at some of Anton Stach's stats over the past 2 seasons in the Bundesliga. He's ranked number 1 for interceptions with 120. 4th for tackles at 142, 393 possessions won, 3rd ranked, and 4th ranked for duels. Now, let's have a little look at some of the other stats for both of them. I mean, look at this. I mean, Anton Stach does look like the superior midfielder to Sean Longstaff. Just looking at this little graph here, I mean, he's won more duels, better interception rate, doesn't quite have as much of attacking output in terms of in the opposition box, which means you're more likely to see him sitting deeper than Sean Longstaff. But you do have to also take into account that Sean Longstaff was coming up against arguably better opposition because he was playing in the Premier League as opposed to the Bundesliga. So you do have to take this graph with a little pinch of salt. But it is such an exciting double swoop for me, and I cannot wait to see how Leeds line up with these two and Tanaka together. Oh, it will be magisterial. Now, speaking of some other news, apparently Leeds United will still have a reported £55 million to spend after Sean Longstaff signing. If we do spend 20 million of that on Anton Stach, you're looking at another 35 to 40 million for a couple of key positions. Get a goalkeeper in for 10 to 15 million, 25 million plus to spend on your striker, and I think Leeds are in very, very good positions. Now, our wide areas would then leave a little bit of concern because we do only have 3 top draw wingers, in my opinion: Dan James, Wilfried Gnonto, and Ramazani on the books after losing, of course, Manor Solomon. Could we be looking at West Brom star Tom Fellows, who, according to Sports Boom, has caught the eye of Leeds United? He registered 14 assists in the Championship last year for West Brom, England under-21 international, of course. Here are his stats, ranking 4th for goals, XG 4.361, but the reason he would be an exciting signing for Leeds is because he did create 64 chances, and you can only imagine those numbers potentially increasing in a more creative or higher quality side like Leeds United with better players around him, and he would be happy to play second fiddle to Dan James, Ramazani, Gnonto. Depending on injuries, he would get game time. As of yet, there hasn't been contact with Leeds United for him, so it is one to just keep on the back burners, but it is one we would be able to get for a relatively cheap deal, and one that would bolster up the attacking ranks. Now, one that would be a little bit more exciting, we did speak about this before, and maybe this could allow us extra money to invest in the number 10 and goalkeeper positions if this is the deal that we got done. Leeds United are apparently back targeting Real Madrid striker Gonzalo Garcia, who of course played last year, registering 25 goals for Castilla, and was recently called up to the Real Madrid first team for the Club World Cup due to an illness for Kylian Mbappe, and ended up having an absolute firecracker of a tournament, finishing the tournament as top goal scorer. Granted, it was only 4 goals, but 4 great goals, linking up perfectly with Trent Alexander-Arnold. Now, after the impressive tournament that he had, I do find this to be a very difficult deal for Leeds United to get done. It's being reported by TBR Football revealed that Leeds United have now registered their interest in signing Gonzalo Garcia on a loan deal from Real Madrid. Now, because it's a loan deal, maybe Real Madrid would be happy to let him go and get more experience because they do have Mbappe on the books, and it is unlikely that Garcia is going to get an absolute bucket load of game time. But with a new manager, they've just got Xabi Alonso as their manager. Maybe he's looking at changing things up a little bit. Maybe Gonzalo Garcia is the man, because when a lot of managers come in, sometimes they like a young player in the side who they can mold and adapt to their style of play. Maybe they could let him go on loan and bring him back next year to get a bit more experience, a bit more growth under his belt before Xabi Alonso wanted to make him a starter. I don't see Leeds getting an option to buy on this deal. If we did get a loan, it would just be a straight loan for a year. It does give you the risk of them calling him back at any time if they did need so. But I think this is one to definitely keep an eye out for. And if we could get Gonzalo Garcia, he's great in the air. He's great finishing with his feet. He's very, very good at pressing. He's got so many great qualities that would make him perfect for the Fox side, and I would just be absolutely pinching myself if we could get this one done. But it is a very, very faint link right now. It's going to be a very tough deal to get done, so I'm not here telling you that this is a signed, sealed, delivered move, but it is definitely one to keep your eye out for. And if we could get this deal done, oh, what a magisterial move that would be. Now, in other news, we were also linked with a couple of Besiktas players. Turkish outlet Akzam reported before that Leeds United were in the offing to raid them for their strikers. However, they are now reporting that Aston Villa have decided they want their striker Semi Kajoi and would be willing to include Donyell Marlin in a swap deal, despite the fact they only just signed him for £22 million. So it's definitely going to be a tough one for Leeds United to get done. But I mean, again, I do feel like this one was a very weak link to begin with. And with Aston Villa now registering such a strong interest, I don't see Leeds going too strong in for this one. And I would be a lot happier with Gonzalo Garcia as well if we could get him. But it does seem like our links over to Semi Kajoi are fading rapidly. But those are the main stories of the day. Nothing else really to report on top of that. I'm just very, very excited about the Sean Longstaff deal, the Anton Stach personal deals agreed. So let me know what you guys think about all of that down below. Gonzalo Garcia, if that could be reported to be done in the next couple of weeks, would just be the perfect icing on the cake right now. Right now, I'm not going to get too down in the dumps that we're not making too strong of a push for a goalkeeper in the next couple of days, it seems. I'm just very, very happy with the couple of deals that it seems like we're about to get over the line in Stach and Longstaff.